Okay, thanks for joining in tonight's class. It's the 28th of February 2023, and tonight's class is on developing empathy for our past selves, or even our current self. Actually, we can develop empathy for our current self too. Now, the background to this meditation is that it's called, I'm mixing up sort of modern Western, I won't go as far as to say therapy, but that way inclined, and Eastern spirituality, merging the two. And the practice we're going to do in English is taking and giving. And it's known in, I think this must be Sanskrit, tonglen, Tonglen. The first bit means giving, and the second bit means taking, or the other way around. Doesn't really matter so much, just a word, tonglen. So if you wanted to look it up, then that's the word Tonglen, tonglen. And because we do meditation with the breath and imagining the golden light and the black smoke, that's a practice to these more composite practices, more compounded practices. So in doing them in themselves, as we do each class, they're a standalone practice, breathing in the golden light, imagining love's coming in, and breathing out black smoke, imagining it's other things that we don't want inside of us. What it also does is it allows us to become practiced at that visualization, so we can add a bit in. And in Tibetan Buddhism, it may be in all Buddhism, but definitely in Tibetan Buddhism, it's called mounting the practice on the breath. So we can do mantras and mount them on the breath, so that as we breathe in, we think a certain mantra, may I be kind to myself, or I'm going to be kind to myself, and on the breath out, I'm going to be kind to myself. And in doing that, we are compounding the practice. We're doing both the breathing meditation, which is beautiful and relaxing and profound in itself, and the mantra practice as well. So breathing meditation is quite profound just on its own, because concentration is practiced with breathing meditation, and the cause of peace is concentration in meditation. So we can concentrate on somebody who's really peed us off, and that develops anger. So there's nothing inherently peace-inducing about concentrating. When we're concentrating on something that brings our mind to peace, then it works for us. And one of those things for most people is noticing the breath. And we know that the breath is linked to our mind, because if we get really anxious, we breathe more quickly and in our chest, rather than slowly and in our belly. So this meditation is quite profound and compounded. Now, the empathy part, I'd been looking for years and years and years as a Buddhist practitioner for some practice that would help me to heal, as opposed to loving everyone else. And I found that loving everyone, as was in the books and in the practices, didn't heal me. And somebody said to me, yeah, but you're included in that. But it just didn't work. For whatever reason, it didn't work. And maybe me being one of 8 billion or one of trillions of animals and insects just didn't cut it. I don't know. But I was searching for ages to try and find a practice of self-kindness, self-compassion. And I've realized recently self-empathy, actually. And I did this practice of tonglen for a number of years, where we imagine people in front of us, we imagine taking on their suffering, and then we give out our love. And I was reading Sogyal Rinpoche's book, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, which is, I think, a reasonable to say it's a modernized version of the classic Tibetan book. I've forgotten the name of it. Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead. Anyway, so it's a modernized version of a classic book, and it's a big thick book. And somewhere in the middle, Sogyal Rinpoche goes on about tonglen, and I thought, this is familiar. The whole book was familiar, But that bit was particularly familiar. I thought, I love this practice. And normally you start with other people. And what he's suggesting there is that we practice taking on our own past suffering and giving out our love to ourselves, on the basis that it can be a little bit intimidating or scary to pretend we're taking on other sufferings just because our mind might worry about it. Let's say somebody got COVID and I imagine myself taking on their COVID and giving them my health. There might be a little bit of my mind that doesn't really believe it's not going to happen and might worry a little bit. So it doesn't work like that, but that's maybe how our mind worries. So when we're taking on our own suffering and giving ourselves love, there's no fear there. There's no worry that we're going to take on somebody else's problems. And that was how he presented it. So he just presented it, Sogyal Rinpoche, as an easy way to get into the practice. But for me, it was like a wow moment. This is the tool that I've needed. This is what I've needed. This is a practice whereby I heal myself, my past selves, and I can go through different points in my life and do this practice and bring a great deal of compassion and love towards that past me. For example, if something traumatized me as a 7-year-old, I can visualize the 7-year-old me in front of myself. I can imagine, I can contemplate the suffering of the situation. Poor little 7-year-old not knowing what to do, feeling frightened or distressed or whatever. I can imagine taking on all that suffering as me as an adult. Imagine it coming in the form of black smoke as I breathe in into my heart. And then through the power of that compassion, my heart turns into beautiful golden light love. And then that love radiates out from my heart to his. And it brings healing and warmth. And it's beautiful. And it works. It's such a deep, profound meditation practice. So I stumbled across it in page 210 or something in this book, and I've practiced it on and off ever since. And I practiced it last Thursday in a room with other people, just like we're doing here, if you're listening live, or equally if you're listening to the recording. And yeah, it was lovely. It was really, really nice. I can tell in a room when I'm teaching meditation if people have got the experience from the meditation that they need, because I say, has anybody got any questions at the end? And people look like the last thing they want to do is talk. They're just in that process and they're relaxed. So it's profound and powerful because we can heal really quite disturbing things within the space of peace, because we're going to do the breathing meditation and the body relaxation, and mounting the practice of healing with the breath naturally keeps our mind calm whilst bringing a lot of love and compassion to ourselves at times when we've really, really struggled. So you can be the other aspect to this is, I'm a great believer that the mind and the heart want to heal themselves. So if we just get out of the way, whatever needs to heal will come up. We don't need to go searching for a particular time. We may have one, but we don't need to go searching for a particular time that we want to address, period in our life that we want to address. If we're relaxed, if we're open to healing, then our mind will present a past event and a past us to bring some love and compassion to. We don't even need to worry about that. We can be really relaxed and really gentle with ourselves. So we're going to do the body relaxation and the breathing meditation. And then in one, we'll just segue into the tonglen meditation, empathy for ourselves. So if you'd like to get yourself comfortable, excuse me, if you'd like to get yourself comfortable, comfortably straight back, chin tucked in a little, crown of the head up, breathing just through the nose. And don't worry too much about how you have your hands. If you're used to a particular hand position or posture or mudra, whatever you want to call it, then do that. But don't worry, it's much more important what's coming out of your heart that matters, and into your heart. Okay, so picture this room as a mental image. You can leave your eyes slightly open if you like, with a little chink of light if you're feeling tired. It can help, or close your eyes. Just might feel a little bit more drowsy with your eyes closed, but it's how I practice. It's not too much of a problem, it's fine. So picture this room, become aware of the room that you're in. This just brings the mind out of the past and the future. And into the present. We're going to do a practice of basic self-honesty. It's about as profound as it gets too. Sounds simple, these profound practices. And they are simple, we just struggle with them. So notice your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. There's a little space between the thoughts that are passing along and the observation of them. Just notice your thoughts come and go. And we watch them go like a leaf in a stream, just flowing away with the water. We don't chase the leaf, we just watch it go. If your mind wanders away, just because it habitually looks for better conditions, come back and recommence, just gently watching the thoughts coming and going. There may be thoughts that are a commentary to the thoughts, like, oh, I'm not doing this very well, or whatever. They're just thoughts too. Treat them exactly the same as the others. Let them go. Become aware of your body. Notice how most of our perception of a body is the sense of touch from our skin. And then we tend to fill in the blanks and call it a body, an appearance of a body. Just notice how body appears to you. So even though it feels like we're experiencing a single unit object body, all we can ever experience are sensory inputs. Sensory inputs, it's all that we ever experience. So we experience the sensory inputs from the skin and maybe a bit of muscle tightness. Organs like the stomach may be rumbling a little bit. We fill the rest in as a solid object. And it's not true object, because that's not what we experience. We experience just the contact, the touch. then we perceive a single unit body. It's important to witness what appears, and we can check whether it's valid or not another time. In doing this exercise, we can also develop the mental image of this body that appears to us, and it will be distorted. And this is our body dysmorphia shown back to us. So we get a general image of this body, because there isn't a single object body, there's just a contact with the skin that we experience. And we see how we fill in the blanks and what image we have of our body. This is an insight we can have. Now we can stay aware of the body and become aware of what feelings are appearing in there. Usually between the throat and the chair, there will be some feelings, some emotion, anger, joy, frustration, sexual craving, jealousy, love, compassion, forgiveness. Notice what appears. Now, if you've got no sense of any feelings, maybe you don't have any cropping up at the moment, or it might be that you are emotionally dissociated, which means stuck in the head as a way of coping. So denial of feelings, denial of the experience of feelings is a form of self-compassion. It's protection. And we can gradually open up to our feelings, but don't worry if it's not happening at the moment. It's still excellent practice to bring our consciousness into our body. So we've had a little glimpse with self-honesty of the mind, the body, the thoughts, the body, and the feelings, and they are simply as they appear, with honesty. No commentary to them, no story about them, no judgment of them. They've all been witnessed cleanly. And if there is judgment, just watch that. Can't lose. There's judgment, watch it. Now we're going to relax the body further. Please bring your awareness to your face muscles. And during the day, we tend to tighten up in our jaw. We want the world to be a certain way. We want ourselves to be a certain way. And when those things don't occur, it tends to manifest as frustration in our jaw muscles. Relax them off deeply. Now relax this space between the eyebrows, keeping your mind nice and gently alert. Imagine the space between your eyebrows widens a little. Become supple and relaxed. And the space around the lips and the nose and the cheeks, relax them too. Bring the awareness now to the left shoulder. Scan down the arm and the hands and the hand and the fingers, checking carefully for any tension that may have built up during the day, and relax it off with kindness. Bring the awareness now to the left shoulder. Same exercise. Scanning all the way down. And from the left hip. Bring the awareness to the left hip. Check in the thigh, the calf, the foot and the toes. Relax them off. Be gentle with yourself. And the same from the right side now. Awareness to the right hip, checking the thigh, the calf, the feet, the toes, any tension. Be kind to yourself, relax it up. Be at ease. Now we bring our awareness to our shoulders and our neck, just checking posture again. Chin tucked in just a little, crown of the head up. Imagine all the tension and the tightness bound up in our muscles of our shoulders and neck, wicks away, it just melts away. The past is gone. All there is in this moment is such a little amount. There's just this. There's just you, a room, your mind. There's nothing else to do. Just relax those shoulders and that neck. Come down off the alertness of the day. And the worries and the stresses and the fears. Just let your head rest. Now we bring our awareness into our body to relax the abdomen. Visualize black smoke swirling around. And bound up in it is our tendency to give ourselves a hard time. Our inner critical voice bound up in this black smoke. And we can think, enough, I don't want this anymore. And with 3 nice, steady, deep out breaths, we visualize the black smoke and this self-criticism billowing out of the nostrils into the distance. Each time more of it goes. And after the third one, imagine all possible future self-criticism has gone. That voice in your head has stopped. Your body feels spacious and light. And as we breathe in, we visualize sparkling golden light coming in through the nostrils. All the way down into the body. And as we breathe in gentleness. tenderness. The tenderness we've always wanted from our guardians, our parents. So that beautiful tenderness you have for others, allow it to come into yourself. As you breathe in sparkling golden light, imagine this tenderness and care mixed with the golden sparkling light, and they come down your throat, into your heart area, and your head and your legs, and that gentle, caring tenderness spreads out deeply. Imagine it's within every cell of your body and the whole vast space of your beautiful mind. With the last few golden lighting breaths, imagine an immense amount of tenderness and care and love come into you. Can't exhaust our supply of love. It's endless. Now I'd like you to picture in front of you a past self. Just let your mind do its thing. Let it heal itself. A version of you from the past that's ready to receive empathy, understanding, because we understand ourselves more than anyone else ever could. And our past self sometimes really needed some empathy and couldn't get it. Maybe a time when it was really difficult or scary or lonely, sad. And if nothing's come up, then maybe do search a little bit and pull something out. It could be from the very recent past. It could be from today. It could be you now. It could be you at 10 years old or 5 or 15 or 35. Picture this image of yourself in front of you and contemplate their suffering, contemplate their plight, the difficulty, their experience. The purpose is to develop compassion from understanding and empathy. As you breathe in, under the power of your empathy, imagine taking on this past self suffering, their fear or their anxiety or their loneliness or their distress, their trauma. As you breathe in, imagine black smoke comes from their heart, taking with it their suffering, comes in through your nostrils, down your throat to your heart, and with the power of your compassion, your heart becomes pure love, sparkling love. And imagine golden light as you breathe out comes from your heart to your past self's heart. and heals them some, heals them a certain amount. Allow them to feel it, watch them receive it. And then as you breathe in some more black smoke and some more of their suffering and pain, understanding it deeply. As you breathe in, bring it in all the way down to your heart. Allow your heart to turn into golden light again. And as you breathe out from your heart to your past self's heart, breathe out deep, caring, cherishing love. It goes to their heart and heals them some more, warms them, pacifies them. Just keep doing this cycle of breathing in the black smoke and the suffering, taking it in, golden light from your heart as you breathe out in love to your past self to heal them. I'll leave you now to practice this cyclical breathing, healing meditation. If your mind wanders away, just come back to the process. If you need to contemplate the suffering of this past self again a little bit, just to invoke the empathy, the deep empathy and the compassion, do so. If it's already there, just keep going, taking on their suffering through the power of your compassion, and breathing out the golden light to their heart to heal them with love. Now you can come back to do this whenever you want. You don't need the long setup. You can immediately, while you're having a cup of tea or sat quietly or waiting for a train, whatever it might be, in a doctor's waiting room, you can just sit, bring this past self back, and immediately start doing this beautiful compassion and loving breathing tonglen practice with them. At some point, you'll go back to them and you'll just know it's not needed. It's been healed. That point in your life, that past self has been healed. It will just feel right. So before we finish this meditation, I'd like you to imagine this past self in front of you and just invite them for a cuddle, a hug, a handshake, a pat on the back, whatever it might be. Ask them what they need and give it to them with love. Imagine yourself, if you can, giving them a cuddle, giving them a hug. And then say goodbye by whichever way seems appropriate. Imagine they melt into golden light and come back into your heart for safekeeping. And then when it feels comfortable, just gently allow your eyes to open, remaining aware of how you feel. Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're putting this onto my YouTube channel, All Follows Meditations. If you want to receive reminders of classes like this, then you can sign up for them on the front page of my website, paulfollows.com. Thank you.